There is one button, one single setting in Deadlock that control a game before it even starts. You read the title when you clicked on this video. The button in question is Auto Queue Build at the start of the match. They don't even make the worst criminals in maximum security prisons turn this option on. Before I can even get into the other reasons this setting is terrible, I have to first obviously acknowledge the fact that like half of all builds aren't even built for this setting to be turned on. Most pro player builds won't be a straight, no-nonsense left-to-right build, because every game of Deadlock has so much nuance that you can't just buy the same 12 items on a hero every game and expect to win every time. And this becomes the case exponentially so as you increase in rank. The first real reason why this setting is a trap are what I'm calling time-sensitive buys. This mostly applies to your laning stage. As you may know, Healing Right may be the single strongest early game item on average across all heroes. I can think of about 4 items that can even stand in contention with it during lane. Healing Right is also an interesting item in the sense that its value is much better the lower your health is when you buy it. That is, it depends on the time that you buy it, therefore it's time sensitive. This is also the case for an item like Cultist Sacrifice, since you want to buy it as close to the 8-minute mark as possible, so that you can use it on a T3 neutral right where it spawns. Or even if you want to do something like rush a tier 3 item, or tier 2, because the matchup could call for it, like Reactive Barrier against Bebop. If you auto-queue your build, you can't really control the timing of buying these items, since it promotes the mindless gameplay of just running into shop to quick buy your items when you have the money. Secondly, counterbuying is objectively impossible with a build that auto-queues all 12 items, since no single build can account for all 31 other heroes in the game, and I'm just gonna say it, if you don't counterbuy, you're trolling your team. Yes, heroes like Infernus, Wraith, and Billy should be counterbuying less since they're carries and want to focus on damage more, but they still need items like Reactive, DBR, and Counterspell to play effectively. When I say they should be counterbuying less, I just mean that they can ignore buying items like Disarming Hex or Curse more often, because the assumption is that my support should be doing so. But, you know, I solo queue a lot, so of course no one on my team is going to actually use their brain, so I have to do it anyways. But in a perfect world, that the carry shouldn't have to counterbuy as often. Finally, and most importantly, the single biggest reason you should always keep this setting turned off is power spikes. That might just sound like a buzzword, like I'm just parroting what Deathy says, but this is a real thing, I promise. I mean, it's a fairly simple concept. When you buy a tier 3 item, you now have one more item for your engagements than before, so relative to those engagements, you're now one Majestic Leap, Rapid Recharge, or say Counterspell stronger than before. Whereas, if you get active right after buying it, that is, the same enemies in said engagements will not have said spike yet. This button promotes mindlessly walking in and out of shop rather than with purpose, and makes it really easy to ignore your power spikes, because auto-queuing removes the ritual of thinking about your purchases. Ignoring your power spikes can cause you to miss taking favorable engagements. Not taking favorable engagements means you miss out on denying enemies time farming at the very least, and missing out on objectives that you could have done with those kills like mid-boss urn and walkers at the worst. Furthermore, if you are holding on to thousands of souls and your build has like 4 T1 items up next, you'd have entirely missed a T3 or 4 item that you could have bought at that exact moment, which you should always be doing if you have the souls for, unless you don't have your category spikes, of course. In conclusion, this innocent-seeming setting can be trolling your games without your knowledge. Please just turn it off. Hey, if you've made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it. I've been planning on making a video on Pocket for some time now, and I feel like I'm struggling to make an impact when I play them. Do you have like any tips for what I should be focusing on in my games? I really thought they'd be like just like the Lash, but they're not really just like the Lash. This is also the part where I do the thing where I ask you to subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and or to check out the 2 videos that should be on screen right now. My name is FighterJet, and I am so good at outros.